Alright, what's up, SEC guys? Finally moved in for the most part, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these rolling again. Apologize for the background noise, but still doing some work in the college area here. So, what I decided to do here, taking a look at the third block, weeks 5 and 6. Most games have been played. I think it was week 5, all but one. But then 6, there's still a couple. So I'm going to give a little extra time there. So what I'm going to do for this video, I'm going to recap the second block, do players of the week, look at how the SEC is looking in the top 25, SEC in the Cup, of course, and do a brief preview of week 7 and 8. Really wanted to do the videos, but I probably stopped doing this around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and just got tired of this. Yeah, trying to get the new modem set up, so a little bit more difficult to get this started. So apologize for that, but I'll do another video here soon doing a preview of weeks 5 and 6 probably after I get back from SummerSlam and Raw on Tuesday. So, I'm going to just go ahead and start out with the top 25, and I'm sure it comes as no surprise. Defending champs, they're still undefeated, sitting at 3-0, so they are number 1 in both polls. What's pretty cool looking at the top 5. Georgia, their nice little run here as they sit at 5-0. Got some pretty big wins so far. Look at one in particular later, but they sit at 4 in the media poll, 5 in the coaches poll. And Arkansas, it's going to have a little bit of a drop here, but they sit at 6 in both. Going a little bit further down, scraping the top 10 in the media, you've got Texas A&M. They sit at 12 in the coaches. Florida's dropping, only played one game so far. 13 in the coaches, I think 14 in media. And for the most part, that's really it until you get to the very bottom. You got rounding out the top 25, Mizzou sits at 23 in the coaches, 24 in the media. South Carolina is pretty close, just on the cusp there. Just a couple votes behind Southern Methodist. And kind of looking at what they did here, I'm thinking that they'll be back in soon. Can't remember what they did in 5 and 6 off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they'll be back in there. So, looking at the Cup, down to getting to the Sweet 16 in the Northwest bracket. We got Bama at Northwestern. Yet to play that game yet, still got a couple of days there, but I'm thinking Bama, as they have for most games this season, should be able to pull out a win pretty convincingly. In the Southwest bracket, Ole Miss lost to Virginia Tech 35-6. They did score this one, so I'm sure that the Beat was happy about that. In the Northwest bracket, Northeast, getting my directions mixed up, Arkansas and South Carolina. Arkansas 45-22 win, and the winner, Arkansas, is going to host USC. And in the Southeast, you've got Georgia on the road against Indiana, and Aaron Murray has looked very, very good so far, so expecting him to be able to pull out a win and have 3 in the final 16 there. So going into week 3 recap, the first thing, you got to upset South Alabama, pulling out a shocker on the road against Tennessee, 17-14. Tennessee behind, negative 4 yards rushing, so not really a balanced attack there, and a lot of that to do with sacks, but negative 3 in turnovers as well, and that usually is going to spell an upset there. Next, a close game here, Vanderbilt at South Carolina, important SEC East matchup. Vandy would take a lead 31-30 late with a touchdown, about 30 seconds left, with South Carolina get a couple of big plays to follow the answer. Shaw had 382 combined yards, plus an 88-yard scramble run, and a late field goal helped them pull that out. Got LSU at Stanford. Everyone knows that Stanford likes to run the football. Surprising this one, Hogan had a good passing game, and that usually is not going to spell a good result if you're playing against IROC. As LSU got behind early and was not really able to do anything with the Stanford O-line as they lose 16-26. And the first of tough matches for Ole Miss on the road against Oklahoma. and they got blanked 30-0 here. Just a tough game all the way around. The big thing, Wallace, 4 picks, only had 69 yards rushing, and only had the ball for a little shy of 10 minutes, so not able to really get the ground game going. And lastly, in the games played, Kansas State at Georgia, as Georgia continues to roll. They pick up a 47-21 win at home. Georgia had 5 interceptions in the game, and Murray continuing his Heisman putting up candidacy, getting the word right there. 16-17, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then in games left to be played, you got Mississippi State at Auburn. Both will be looking to get on the board win-wise. Alabama at Texas A&M. So in real life, Johnny Football kind of caught them off guard. Not going to see the same thing here. Bama defense, linebackers really have to play well. And 2 others. Going into players of the week, we've got Patton for Vanderbilt. Quarterback, 25-31, 351 yards, 3 TDs, and a pick in a losing effort. Josh Harvey Clemens, strong safety for Georgia, a tackle and 2 interceptions. And then Tyler Hull, kicker for South Carolina, 4 for 4 at a long of 53. And game-winning field goal. And moving to week 4, the big game of the week, Florida State at Georgia, 2 top 10 teams here, and looking to continue to keep themselves in the running for a possible title berth. And Georgia was able to get this one behind getting 2 interceptions in the red zone, and Gurley outplayed Freeman, had a big reception, and also more consistent on the running and on the ground. 21-14 win. Up next, Texas A&M at Northwestern, so slowly playing against his favorite team. And Johnny Football, though he did have 3 interceptions, still had a pretty decent game. Northwestern would tie it with a little under 2 minutes left, but Texas A&M would be able to drive down. Ben had a good game on the ground with 117 yards. We got Mizzou at Penn State, a 14-0 third quarter for the Tigers. Really kind of jump-started them there. And Beckham had 4 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. And what I liked, no surprise as a Kentucky fan, Washington at UK. Kentucky's first game of the season, and it would be a barn burner. 850 yards of combined offense by both teams. But down 35-31, Sanders would punch it in from a yard out late in the game. They would go for 2 to prevent a field goal to force overtime. Big gamble there, but 2 sacks after, and UK was able to close it out. And another close game I saw at Iowa. Johnny Williams, pretty good game for him, as he's had a good run so far this season. The late option gone bad. Got Iowa a touchdown to cut the lead to 3, but they would not be able to get the onside kick, and it would be a 27-24 game. And also, continuing still in close games, Auburn at LSU. And LSU would be able to eke this one out, another comeback for them, 14-10. You can see Hill there, a late score. But Auburn was up 10-0 at the half. Benberger got knocked out the game. But big defensive play on the option, knocking the pitch down, being able to get a score, and a late drive in the fourth quarter to eke out a win. And South Carolina at Navy. 31-21 wins for South Carolina. It was a 14-14 game at the half, but 2 second-half turnovers by Navy really helped South Carolina pull it out. Wake Forest and Mississippi State. Defensive battle. Don't see a whole lot of those. But Mississippi State lost a turnover battle 2-0, and really that made the difference in this game as it lost by 2 scores. And then starting to get a little distance away from the close games, Vanderbilt a 24-0 win on the road against ULL, limited ULL to 34 yards passing, and had a pretty balanced attack, 252 yards on the ground, or in the air, and 103 on the ground. And then you got Ole Miss again on the road, playing against Virginia Tech. Got blanked in their Week 3 matchup, so kind of looking to get the offense going here. Unfortunately for them, pretty much mostly the same. Had a hard time getting the offense going, And in this one, Coleman just really had a big game. 174 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. Ole Miss only had 83 yards rushing, and still Wallace struggling there. 3 picks in this one as they lose 31-0. And lastly, Bama at Central Florida. It's actually a close game at the half. Bama's only up 3, but 6 turnovers in the second half for UCF, and that really kind of sums up the way that game went. 48-14 win. So, Offensive Player of the Week, TJ Yeldon, 20 carries, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defense also, Bama, Mr. Dion there. Cornerback, 3 tackles, 4 picks, a pass deflection, and a defensive touchdown. And then kicker for special teams, Taylor Bertolet, Texas A&M, 2 for 2, along with 51, and a game-winning field goal. So we'll go ahead and, like I said, skip week 5 and 6. We're going to go to week 7 here. Looking ahead, Mississippi State at Western Kentucky. The Bulldogs are going to need some better quarterback play. Definitely got to get Perkins going early in this one based off what happened in the last game. Next, Bama at Kentucky. Really, for Kentucky, they're going to have to score early. Front 7 is going to have to kind of make it an even matchup against the Alabama O-line. And got to find a way to stop Yeldon, which is not saying a whole lot. You still got to stop McCarron, and that is going to be a really tough matchup there. Got BYU at Vandy next. Vanderbilt offense line's got to block better and slow down BYU's rush attack. They're averaging a $1.69 per game. Auburn at Navy. Really, for Auburn, they have the mismatch in the trenches, so they're going to have to do good on both sides of the ball, blow up the Navy run game, and be able to impose their will on theirs. Notre Dame at Tennessee. Tennessee's got to slow down the pass rush and win the turnover battle. Have not done that in their losses. So a key stat there for them to get going again. Now Florida at LSU. Beckham Jr. has definitely got to have a big impact here. And Driscoll for Florida is going to also have to be a dual threat guy. You got to get good defensive line play. So moving into the top 3 games of the week. First, we got Texas A&M at Ole Miss. So Texas A&M has kind of been rolling along here. Ole Miss ran into a tough block there, looking to bounce back. For Ole Miss in this one, you got to protect Wallace. That's starters. And 2, he can't turn the ball over. I don't want to say you want to make him into a game manager, but you can't have 7 turnovers over 2 games. That usually is going to spell a loss, and he really they just had a hard time getting the pass game going, and definitely tough because of the defenses they played against, but can't have that happen. For Texas A&M, got to make it a high-scoring game to help negate Ole Miss' running game. And looking at Evans, has yet to get in the end zone this season. Will this be the game? As Johnny Football has really been the focus, and getting those receivers involved in the end zone will take some pressure off to help open up that rush attack. Next, we got Mizzou at Georgia. This is a really cool matchup here. 2 of the true NDL vets here. And Georgia is pretty battle tested, so they've had some big wins this season, some really, really big wins. So on the Mizzou side, defense has been the backbone of this team. They play really well so far. They're going to have their work cut out trying to slow down Georgia's offense. They have a pretty balanced attack between Aaron and Todd. I'm trying to remember the name there. But I'm not really sure how you'd go about attacking this team. Got to get pressure. Got to really, whether it's with the blitz, the defensive line, you got to get pressure and try to throw off the timing of that offense. Now, it's going to be a tough one there. A turnover battle will be important, and big plays will be important. Georgia's had them, but they've been pretty consistent being able to walk up and down the field so far this season. So Missouri's going to have to generate some to have a change of fortune here. They're having a pretty good run so far as well. And game of the week, South Carolina at Arkansas. Well, this was a cup game already played, so I'm not sure how either guy takes the cup game, if they take it serious, look at a scrimmage, So not sure you can really read too much into that one. We've got similar offenses here. Both have dual threat quarterbacks. And Allen for Arkansas, Shaw for South Carolina. So not just the quarterback, but looking at which team is going to be able to impose their will in the run game is what you really want to do in these type of games, is make the quarterback a passer, take away his running threat, and also take away the ability to really have, how should I put this? When you have the run game to help you, it opens up a lot of other things. So, though it is hard to stop either of these quarterbacks, they both played well passing the ball. That's how you want to play it. And week 8, we got ULL at Kentucky. So, Kentucky's played one game so far. Can they carry over the offense from the Washington game? Mississippi State at Toledo. Both are still looking for their first win. So both teams here looking at cutting down on turnovers and getting some balance on offense, as neither's been able to run the ball well so far. Next, you got LSU at Ole Miss. For LSU, it'd be nice to have Zach back. Very efficient so far, 831 yards, 7 TDs, and 2 picks. But you got to generate a D-line rush in this one. And Ole Miss got to get the run game going. Time of possession has to be a priority in this one. And Wallace definitely has got to play better. Auburn at Texas A&M is next. Auburn got to slow down the Texas. That offense is averaging 351 yards a game. And Johnny Football, of course, 7 combined TDs. But the defensive ends have got to play good to help lock down that Auburn rushing attack. You got Georgia at Vandy next. Really the difference here, you look at turnovers. Vandy averages 2 per game. Georgia averages 0.2. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an important stat there. Murray is completing at a 82%, completing pass at 82% clip. So got to knock that down for Vandy, and also they're going to have to get Tate going on the ground to help balance out that attack. And got to be wary of the interception, as Georgia has 11 on the season so far. So top 3 games of the week. We got Florida at Mizzou. Mizzou definitely a big block for them, as you can see. Defense definitely has to continue to play great. They're only allowing 18 points a game, which on this game is pretty impressive, not going to lie. Got to limit the home run plays. That's one thing that Florida likes to do. We've seen in the past. And Lottler has got to do more than just create tackles. He's got to be a nuisance. He's got to create some turnovers here. They've had a hard time getting those. For Florida, high-powered offense, of course, so they're going to have to convert TDs when they get on the other side of 50. Can't settle for field goals, and they're going to have to make Mizzou one-dimensional. They played well, but Franklin did have a rough game there, where he had some turnovers there, so got to force him to put up a lot of passes and get interceptions with those. Number 2, South Carolina at Tennessee. Shaw's got to continue to be effective, both in the air and on the ground. And keep that balanced rush attack. I believe they have 2 running backs that also have over 150 yards rushing. So we got that, and they've got to generate more turnovers. On Tennessee's side, Peterman, you gotta be more important with what's going on. He's going to be a big factor in how this game goes. Howard and Carter, you're going to have to make their impact on the game. The receiver tandem there, I believe they have 3 touchdowns on the season. May be wrong on that, but they're going to have to play a big factor and help balance it out, so that the South Carolina defense can't refocus on one guy. But it would help to get their run game going as well. And then the game of the week, Arkansas at Bama. And Arkansas is a revenge factor that they did struggle, as I'll get to in the next video. Looking to bounce back from a couple of close losses. You're going to have to get Williams going in this one. That's going to be tough with the Bama defense. He's got 684 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season thus far. He's really going to have to impose a will and try to make Bama play a different style of defense than they're used to playing. Bama obviously got to stop the run. Yeldon and AJ continue to play great as they had so far. Very balanced attack. The linebacker core got to tackle well and be able to cover the middle of the field and kind of make things difficult for Allen. So that's kind of what we're looking at in this game. And Bama being at home, I'm sure will be a big factor as well. So that's going to be it for this video. Try to get something in here on Tuesday. We'll see. Can't guarantee that. But that will be the earliest, since I'm going to be gone Sunday and Monday for SummerSlam and Raw in LA and Anaheim. So I'll still be on the message boards, going to try and get caught up here in the next couple of days. So I'll talk to you guys later.